Tensions between the Prime Minister and his predecessor Tony Abbott were on full display in Question Time today. Mr Abbott complained he'd been grievously misrepresented over claims he'd done a so-called Guns for Votes deal with Senator David Leyonhjelm. Lateline political correspondent David Lipson joins us now from Canberra. David, how has the party reacted to this blow-up today?
Emma, again, Coalition MPs are going back to their electorates tonight with their tails between their legs and no one to blame but themselves. The issue of guns has dominated the week because Malcolm Turnbull couldn't give a quick and straight answer at the start of the week, and because throughout the week Tony Abbott has continued to deny that he had done a deal with David Leyonhjelm. The minister even got to his feet today in Question Time to confirm that he had been keeping then Prime Minister Abbott's office in the loop, and Malcolm Turnbull said in Question Time essentially that was good enough for him. All of that prompted Tony Abbott to get to his feet at the end of Question Time, launch a tirade ostensibly at Labor, but in the process at his own senior colleagues, also in the process giving a rousing speech, the likes of which we haven't seen for a very long time from the Coalition, that left some in his party literally thumping the table. Let's have a look.
I have made inquiries of my ministers, and I can say to the House that as a result of those inquiries I am satisfied that the Minister for Justice acted in the full knowledge of the Prime Minister's office at that time.
Does the member for Warringah claim to have been misrepresented?
Oh, most grievously, Mr Speaker. This is absolutely and utterly false. Labor is running a protection racket for the CFMEU. The bottom line, Mr Speaker, is you can always trust this coalition. You can only trust this coalition to keep our country safe.
This Prime Minister promised stable government, but you can tell he just couldn't wait to rip Tony Abbott a new one.
Well, so David, the COAG police ministers are meeting tomorrow. Is there any chance the ban on these Adler shotguns will be lifted?
The chance of the ban being lifted, Emma, seems almost zero at this point because all the states and territories and the federal government have to agree for that ban to be lifted. Still, Senator David Leyonhjelm, who kicked all of this off, is confident that the tide is changing on Australia's tough gun laws, and he took us to a gun range just north of Canberra to try to convince us. G'day, mate.
How are you?
Good. Here we are. Parliament's done for the night.
Yeah, have a bit of fun.
All right, let's go shooting.
Have you ever shot before?
Yeah.
What do you get out of shooting? What do you enjoy?
My favourite is rifle shooting, and I like the fact that I can shoot from quite a long distance and get a target and get the shots, 10 shots, 20 shots, into a very small area. It's not unlike golf.
Leaning forward on your front foot, you're going to put your bottom cartridge in and then close the gun with the barrel pointing forward. Push the gun forward, bring it back into your shoulder so you've got your good sight position.
It's a fascinating sport. There are variables in it, like any other sport. Paul.
That was very, very close.
Was it?
Yep.
I missed out on hand-eye coordination when it was being handed out.
Okay.
So I'm not much good at tennis and fast sports that require a lot of fast coordination. There's no point in me trying to get good at those sort of sports, but I can get quite good. I am quite good, as a matter of fact, at very, very slow, considered, careful precision shooting. I've won my grade in state championships in a version of pistol shooting like that. I'm pretty handy with long-range rifle shooting. So you go for the things that you're good at. All right, let's see if I get this little sucker. Pull. There are never any accidents on shooting ranges, or practically never, because we're all so well aware of the fact that in the wrong place, if you're in the wrong place, you can get hurt, and nobody wants that. We want to have a safe sport. Excellent. Sounds good to me.
Do you ever hunt?
Yes, I'm not a very enthusiastic hunter because you've got to do a lot of walking, and I'm 64 now, and I figure other people can do that. But yes, I mean, I have a farm in central west New South Wales, and there are rabbits and foxes and pigs on it, and I occasionally knock one over. And I feel I'm being a practical environmentalist when I do that because they're a pest. Pull!
No trips to Africa though. There's no big
That kind of
games.
safari hunting, that's really for a very small group of people, that kind of safari hunting. It's not something that's ever appealed to me. And I'm a free choice person, so I don't dismiss other people wanting to do it, but it never appealed to me. Pull!
Yeah!
My normal record is 50%.
Yeah, that's all
And
right.
I'm not a shotgun shooter,
Well,
trust me.
I'm sure we can edit that to be 50% tonight. It'll be just fine.
That's right, yes.
So David, the gun we just shot obviously can fire 2 rounds. Why do we need a gun in Australia that can fire 7 or 8 rounds at a rapid fire rate?
You'd use it for hunting. It's easier than reloading. You saw me reloading that, so after 2 shots you have to reload it. If you have 5 or 7 rounds in the magazine, you can, when you see another rabbit, you just have to move the lever action and fire again.
Because farmers have said in the last couple of days that you don't really need any more than a couple of rounds, even for hunting. And people who are professional pest hunters use a rifle, so they sort of beg to differ, don't they?
Yeah. Yes, lever action shotguns have been around for over 100 years. So we're not talking about something new. And yes, the lever action rifles are also quite popular, but they're not everybody's cup of tea. Some people like them, some people don't. I don't own a lever action shotgun myself, but the issue is if there's no compelling reason why you shouldn't have it, then the onus is on those who want to ban things to provide that reason, that onus.
Isn't the compelling reason though that there is a greater risk if you've got a weapon that can fire 8 rounds very quickly, that if it's falling into the wrong hands, it's much more dangerous than a weapon that can fire 2 rounds?
Well, any gun in the wrong hands can be dangerous and it can be misused, any gun at all. There's never, to my knowledge, been any crime committed with a lever action shotgun. As far as I'm aware, it's never been used in any mass shooting, any bank hold-ups, or anything like that. You can't even saw the barrel off. A double-barreled shotgun, such as we were shooting just now, you can saw the barrel off and make it short. Man Monis in the Lindt Cafe siege used a sawn-off double-barreled shotgun. They can be very dangerous. You can't saw off a lever-action shotgun because you also cut the magazine.
You would have to agree that most people in Australia don't like guns.
Yeah. I acknowledge most people don't like guns. They're not familiar with them. They've had no experience with them. Unless you've been exposed to them, unless you've had the fun of competing in sport with guns and know that they are used incredibly safely and they're a lot of fun and they're not all about killing people, yes, you tend to think there should be fewer of them, they shouldn't be allowed. And yet we're very, very proud of our sporting shooters when they win Olympic gold medals. We're immensely proud of them. And we think, well, isn't that great? And then a week later, we're all cheering when the government wants to restrict the guns even further, make it less likely we're going to win gold medals.
But you don't use the Adler at the Olympics.
No, you don't use the Adler at the Olympics. But, it's not... in a free society, you don't need permission to do things. In a free society, the government needs to come up with a reason why you shouldn't be able to do something.
Come get some.
As soon as we go into evidence-based legislation, evidence-based policy, what actually works, what doesn't work, why regulate something if it's making no difference, I think we'll start to turn the tide. The National Firearms Agreement, which was introduced by John Howard, wasn't based on any objective data. We're regulating this type of gun because statistically it's been shown that does more good. There was none of that sort of thing. It was just an emotional response to a tragedy. As soon as we start injecting some data, some figures into it, I think the policy outcomes will change.